What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the table where everybody eat. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button for your boy. And if it's your first time to the channel, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you miss out on the plays and updates we bring to you guys each and every day in the market. Now, first let me say Happy New Year to my subscribers out there and everybody. This is our first drop for the year, covering Datavault AI Incorporated, ticker symbol DVLT, which was up nearly 55% on the day, closing at $1.01. Now, some of you guys probably have been trading this stock for a couple of months now. And if you guys been rocking with us over in the Discord community, Everybody Eats, then y'all know that this right here is a favorite stock of mine in particular. Now, to those who probably been trading this stock since around maybe the lows of 55 cents as of late to the highs of, let's just say, roughly somewhere over $3, maybe even four. I can't recall exactly. Since maybe about 2 months ago or so, y'all are probably down. Even with this massive spike we had of 55% on Friday, January 2nd, 2026, y'all are probably still down anywhere in between 75% or less. We'll cover all that when we go over the short interest, the 52-week high, lows, things of that nature. But without further ado, here's our Discord community. Everybody Eats, link below in the description. And as you see here, we talk about hot stocks, small cap stocks, option plays, cryptos, analyst upgrades, catalyst boosters, overall market, you name it. But speaking of catalyst boosters, tomorrow, or actually today, it kicked things off, I believe, like a little pre-show, as you can see right here. So here we are today, Sunday, right here, January 4th, is the pre-show. What is this, you may ask? This is the CES 2026 conference schedule going down this week in Nevada from January 4th to January 9th. And long story short, this is just an event where all of the innovative tech, some of the big players that we know of, like NVIDIA, AMD, Micron, is going to be there revealing some of their new technology they have in the pipeline or just coming up throughout the year or even in the future, as well as updating us on some of the things that they presented last year. So this right here kind of sets the tone for tech, AI, even down to space, robotics. I mean, you name it. So again, CES 2026 conference goes down Monday, January 5th, all the way to, again, January 9th. But here we are from a post in Stock Alert back in September of 2025 when I told the community how I've been looking into this ticker overnight and I learned a few things about this stock that makes it a great swing trade candidate. Salute to the family, my homeboy Diego, who brought this one here to the table. And at the time, you can see we closed in the after hour session at $1.03. But on the day, we actually closed at 83 cents. And you can see here, right in this corner, the high of day on that day was actually $1.07. Remember that number, because that's going to be a critical number once we get over to the chart. You guys, if you're already in this stock, then you already know what's up with that $1.07. But on that day right there, as I told him, optimal entry would have been 81 cents with the ideal entry around 85 to 88 cents. And we could front run anywhere in between 92 to 97 cents. Either way, it's not a day trade for me. At that time, it was going to be a swing trade. And we got a pullback entry, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, bringing us here to the round table where I shouted out Diego for putting us on to DVLT because as you can see, the next day at 11:09 a.m., basically from market open, we got that pullback entry, and here we are that next day up 16.10%. And then maybe about a week later or so, as we was still in this play, because again, it was a swing trade for us, I posted over in the watch list well, not that next morning, but October 1st, right before market open. I was a little late on the watch list that morning, but I told them on that morning watch list how I was anticipating or looking for DVLT to hold $1.07 for surely that psychological area of a dollar and get back above $1.15 with upside target of $1.30 to $1.35. Following up the next day on October 2nd, 2025, DVLT was up, or at least my position was up 41% that following day, prompting me to close out at 94, almost 95% on October 6, 2025, which actually, I mean, I got some gains. Green is green, profit is profit. However, at this point, I believe this stock went as high as, like I say, $3, $4. You know what? Let's go ahead and check that out. So the short float is actually lower than I had expected. I mean, according to FinViz, the short float is around 11%, which equates to about 28.88 million shares. Now, here we are. The 52-week high was $4.10. And like I stated, you are down if you had bought the high 75%. However, we are up 302% above that 52-week low of 25 cents, which I'm going to get back to that in a second. The RSI right about now is at 43.44, so it's not oversold, it's not overbought, it's not even looking fairly bullish quite yet. But at the same time, if the RSI continues to climb higher for us in the coming days, weeks, even just throughout 2026, definitely throughout the coming days and weeks, then that could confirm a possible uptrend for sure, as a potential swing trade is looking good for us. I'm noticing over here the 20 SMA, 50 SMA, and the 200 SMA is all negative, but here we are. We're only down 2% from the 200. So if we can reclaim that right there, that also will be good. But I'm giving you guys a little too much right now because we only came here for the short interest. If you want to learn these things, hit that link below in the description and pinned at the top of the chat for how we look through stocks, do breakdowns or squeeze plays, fundamentals, swing trades, investments, all that good stuff, man. Now, speaking of those 52-week lows I was talking about around 25 cents, I had told the Discord community somewhere around Christmas break, definitely before New Year's Eve, 12/31/2025. Let's see right here. I had told them just yesterday, or not yesterday, my bad, the day before New Year's Eve, I told them on December 31st how we found support at the highs from September of 52 cents, and this could be an area to have on watch for potential reversion. 2026 conviction is still high. The reason I told them that was simply because the night before, when I was up late doing one of my little late night charting, could not sleep situations, I noticed a couple of things. And as you can see here, more like here, we had the 921 cross back in September, on September 25th, if I'm not mistaken. We had that 921 cross up right there, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, well, it doesn't show us anyway, the MACD crossing up into positive or green territory. So once we had that 921 cross with this massive break right about here, that right there showed me or told me on that day when we closed at 51 cents. If we were to lose this area here, and by the way, there's that 25 cents low. If we were to lose anything in this area right about somewhere in this range here, matter of fact, I basically stated, therefore, possible slowdown or consolidation could be in the area of 38 to 42. Lose that, I cannot touch it below 34 cents, only because I would have thrown too much into this. And personally, that would be too much hopium for the start of 2026. I wanted to say with a penny stock. But anywho, there you go with DVLT. Slight quick background, slight quick history that we have already been on this. So salute to you guys who have been trading this stock, holding this stock with diamond hands, because now this could be the squeeze of, I don't want to say a lifetime, because we have a lot of stocks that have got shorted and I mean just sold off in a drastic manner. However, this one right here has very, very, very high retail sentiment. And I mean, the proof of concept hasn't been proven yet, but we shall see with DVLT. Anywho, link is below in the description and pinned in the top of the chat if you want to join the Discord community. And here we are on the daily chart. But first off, let me remove the drawings. All right, bet. So now as you can see on the daily time frame, we are right here testing, or we are approaching the 200-day moving average. By the way, this is a simple moving average. So this is the 200 simple moving average and the 50 simple moving average, or SMA. However, you may use EMAs or exponential moving averages. I just use the standard simple. So that's the 200, that's the 50. And here we are on the daily time frame running right into that. But as you see also, that coincides with this area right about here. Now, remember, I told you guys that when we traded this stock, we had that $7 high from September 25th. This candle right here is September 25th, which was that $7 high. And then after we had that $7 high, we came here, pulled back, got that run, came, held the 50 SMA. But what is this? The low is 102, the open is 107. So once we get above 107, 108, we got that 115 zone I was talking about. To that, maybe let's just go right here and keep it simple around 125. Above 125, I told you guys in the Discord community, we had that range of 130 to 135. A lot of you guys may be aware of 140 to 150, slightly 140 to 160. We'll cover all that in a few. But going down to the 4 hour time frame real quick, you can see even more how this area right about here, I would draw, but if I were to draw, all my drawings will come back. And I don't want them right now. I want them in a second. So this here was, we finally got the break, came down, got the retest. Here we are, right up there. So you can see even clearer, like I said, this area here will be an area to get above. As well as if we go right here, that go that 135, which coincides in the 4 hour time frame with that 50 SMA. 124 on the 4 hour time frame also coincides with what we got right about here around that 124, 125. That's on the 4 hour time frame. I'm gonna go ahead and stay on the 4 hour time frame. And matter of fact, no, let's go back to the daily, pull up the drawings so you guys can see that, and then we'll walk this thing down, see what we potentially looking at on a possible pullback. Because also I forgot about that. I told the Discord community though last week of this gap right here on the daily. You could barely see the gap. However, you could tell it's there. The 4 hour, you could see the gap. 1 hour, you could see the gap even more. But a lovely hold of that 50 SMA. 30-minute, that gap looks huge. But again, the way that the gap happened, we gapped up above the 50 SMA on the 30-minute time frame. We're rejecting that 115 area that I mentioned about, but not only that, we barely made it to that 200 SMA on the 30 minutes. So that slightly is a clean rejection. I would love a pullback to around this 70 area. Ideally, I would like a pullback to fill this gap. Unfortunately, with me having a sizable amount invested into this company, I don't even want to pull back or a gap fill. However, if we were to get it, I would just be adding because look, the 50 SMA around that 70 cent mark coincides with this wick bottom right here from Christmas Eve, December 24th, right there as well, which that low was 70.40. And then also, as you can see, that 50 SMA right about there and that wick top right there also coincides with this area right here, that low of 69.57 and high of 69. So again, this looks good. But I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the daily time frame, pull the drawings up so you guys can see the levels, and then we'll walk it back down and close this out. But feel free if you guys have already gotten the levels and seen this. My ultimate price target, obviously, I'm gonna say within the next 12 months, because I plan on holding this majority of the year, is possibly 5 to 6. But first, I would like to walk it up and see how we progress and react to the prior levels of $1.75 to $1.90, that 230 zone, that 260 zone. The list goes on if you've already been in this name. So here we are on the daily time frame, and I'm gonna zoom in a tad bit. So as you see, this here, whenever you see these boxes are called my sniper fair value gap. I'm only saying that for the new people. Anybody else, y'all know what's up with these boxes for me. They are ranges, but for me, they are fair value range for my next legs up. So if we can get, which I'll go to the 4 hour time frame for this, but I do want you guys to notice how that 50 SMA is curling after it rejected near or around my sniper fair value gap. So I would like to see this come down here and hold. So even if as price does something of this nature, then now we could possibly see something like that. Don't mind my drawing, I am not a drawer. But 4 hour time frame, matter of fact, you see the levels, you see all of that. Again, I go that 135, 180 actually is the level, but I believe right here that's that 160 zone. And then we have right about here where we got there. That go that 170. But I guess we make it keep the 180. Either way, go down to the hourly. Yeah, I could deal with the hourly. We don't want that though. So what I'm saying is, and especially even if we don't get that gap fill, I wouldn't mind seeing the retest of that golden zone. To be honest, I would say the 90 cents, But the farther we pull back, the better. Only reason why is because then now, if we do come back up here, then now this 90 may begin to hold to where now we can make higher lows and higher highs. Although, once and if we do get that pullback, which I'm not saying that we will, to be honest, when I said the thing about the sniper fair value gaps, what I like to see in these areas typically, if we never don't go directly through, is simply something like this. Because then once we do go up to attempt there and reject, we may now hold this area due to all of the possible trading and liquidity in this zone instead of being illiquid like we are right here. You think you deal with me? So that's what I was saying about those ranges. But ideally, again, and I think in the overnight session, if I'm not mistaken, last I looked, which I'll check real quick. Yeah, in the overnight session, we're up 28% or 26% as of right now, around that $1.25 zone, finding resistance. So a pullback at least to even back in this range, and if we consolidate and hold in between that range of what exactly is this area here, let's just say $1.05 and $1.15. If we pull back to that $1.05 area and hold or consolidate, which also, as I'm looking right here, that wick bounce around that 97 coincides with all of this right about here. So as we're up that high, if we get a pullback and holding that $1.05 range, I'm definitely adding to my position. We lose that range, I may trim some more. And actually, no, I won't. Maybe I will. Don't worry about that. Not financial advice. But either way, I will be at it because I do not plan on exiting this trade. It's probably my only speculative small cap trade outside of Coppin Corporation and maybe UAVS or Rich Tech Robotics. But overall, ultimately, I'm sticking with DVLT. 30-minute time frame was already here, but the drawings are there. So as you see here, that 80 cents area is my golden zone. And as you see, that's a wick top there, consolidation area here, a retest area there. We tried to hold right about there. So on the 30-minute time frame, you already know this area. But again, so a pullback possibly to this area here, this 50 SMA, will be ideal, or even a gap fill. But again, that may not happen. So if that doesn't happen, and let's say we do pull back tomorrow, but at the same time, this starts to look a little something like this, and after we pull back, we end up testing and holding that 200 SMA on the 30-minute, then yeah, that could be a confirmation for continuation to the upside. But that's what I have for you guys on ticker symbol DVLT. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, tell your folks about the community, about the channel. Lock in for 2026, folks. Stick to your plans. Do not overtrade. Do not revenge trade. But videos are long enough, so y'all take care. Much love. We out.